Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how to download torrents safely. Now there are a lot of layers to downloading torrents safely, and the most common misconception out there is that merely choosing a trusted torrenting software is enough to guarantee a safe torrenting experience. While it's true that you should pick out reputable torrenting software, the majority of the heavy lifting is done through these three steps. First is having a good VPN. Second is knowing what to download. And third is having a trusted antivirus to double check everything once you're done. And so in this video, I'll be going through all three of these steps individually, explaining their importance and showing you what you need to do in order to torrent in the safest way possible. I'll also be giving you my top 3 recommended VPNs for torrenting, since picking out a reputable VPN is a huge factor in all of this. And I'll be explaining why that is in just a bit, so stay tuned. Also, if at any point in this video you'd like to check out any of the VPNs I'm about to mention, you'll find all the useful links, including some special discounts, in the description down below, so be sure to check that out if you'd like. All right, now before we jump into the nitty-gritty of safe torrenting, it's important to note that this video is meant for educational purposes only. And so I do not support or condone any activity that infringes on copyright. So make sure to use the internet responsibly and always check your country's laws and regulations regarding that matter. All right, so the first thing you need to pay attention to while torrenting is exactly what files you're torrenting. And this does not require a lot of technical knowledge, and so you can verify whether a file is legit or not through a couple of steps. The first step is making sure that the website you're torrenting from has a good reputation for the most part. Now, there are always going to be malicious actors on such websites, whether or not the website has a good reputation, but it certainly wouldn't hurt if you avoided unknown or sketchy websites. As for the second step, when you look up a specific torrent file and you get several results, you're going to want to sort the results by the highest leecher count. So to put it simply, leechers are the people that are downloading the torrent file, and more leechers generally means more people trust this file enough to give it a download. And if you want to double check the source, try reading the comments to see if anyone is reporting or complaining about the file. Okay, so let's say you've chosen the file and downloaded it. What's next? Well, you're going to need a good antivirus to double check the files for you and see if there's anything fishy from within. Usually when you're torrenting big software or games, some malicious actors inject the files with things like keyloggers, spyware, etc. So having an antivirus program to double check the files would allow you to remove this malware without necessarily deleting the whole thing. Also, make sure to report the file on the website you downloaded it from and leave a comment to warn other people of the matter. Now for this, you can always use Windows Defender, which is free and average at best. But if you want the most accurate results, I would recommend going for more powerful paid antivirus software such as Norton 360, Total AV, or McAfee. Now, as you've noticed, I haven't talked about VPNs as a step so far, and that's for a very good reason. You see, throughout this entire process, you should always have a VPN on, no matter what you're doing, whether it's going through the torrenting site, picking out what file to download, or even while the file is downloading. The VPN should be on at all times until you've fully downloaded and verified the file, and that's due to several reasons. First of all, not all ISPs are that fond of torrenting, because generally speaking, torrenting files takes a lot of bandwidth, and ISPs don't like that. So what do? Well, they'll throttle your internet connection to the ground, and when that happens, good luck downloading that file. Now, if you have a VPN on, your activity will be encrypted and they won't really know what you're doing, except the fact that you're using a VPN. Second of all, while torrenting, you have a pretty high chance that your IP address gets leaked in that process, which would result in a lot of horrible consequences, such as DDoS attacks, and whoever has that address can track your activity. But with a VPN on, you'll not only have a different IP address every time you connect to a VPN server, but there are some VPNs that offer rotating IP addresses, and even double VPN, which reroutes your connection through 2 VPN servers instead of 1 for double the protection. And third of all, there are times when torrenting sites are blocked by either the network administrator or the government, and the only way to access them is by using a reliable VPN service. Now, that being said, you shouldn't use just any VPN service for this, as there are specific things you should look for in a VPN, especially when it comes to torrenting. First of all, you need a VPN that has a kill switch to make sure that none of your data is leaked should you accidentally disconnect from the VPN server for whatever reason. And what a kill switch essentially does is that it immediately cuts off your internet connection the second you disconnect from the VPN server to prevent any of your data from leaking to your ISP or any other malicious actor on your network. Second of all, you're going to need a VPN that has a split tunneling feature. And what this feature does is that it allows you to select which apps go through the VPN tunnel and which ones operate normally. So let's say you want to play your favorite video game and you want to keep your region as is, but you also want to torrent a a file while you're connected to a VPN in a different region? Well, you can set your torrenting software to pass through the VPN tunnel by itself while your game runs normally. And third of all, as I mentioned earlier, torrenting is pretty heavy on bandwidth, and most free, cheap, and even paid VPNs set bandwidth limitations for their users. And so if you want to torrent to your heart's content, you're gonna need a VPN that doesn't have any bandwidth limitations. And for the last and most important point, you need to get yourself a VPN with strict no logs policies. And what this means is that the VPN would not log, store, or sell any of your information. And it's best if you can find a VPN that operates on RAM-only servers, which cannot store any data, and so whatever is left on these servers is wiped out with every system reboot. Now, I know that this might be too much to ask for, and it's going to be pretty difficult to find a VPN that has all of these features at the same time, and that's why I went through a couple of dozen VPNs and narrowed the options down to 3 options that I believe to be the best, not only for torrenting, but in general. And these are going to be ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and Surfshark. All 3 of these VPNs have a kill switch, split tunneling, unlimited bandwidth, and strict no logs policies. And they don't stop there, as each of these has their own unique qualities and areas they excel at. So let me quickly go through what each VPN has to offer so you can make an informed choice and pick a service that best suits your needs and situation. So starting with ExpressVPN, this is going to be the one to go for if you're looking for the most secure VPN on the market. Now, all 3 of these VPNs have strict no logs policies that are audited by several independent companies such as PwC, and this alone proves their legitimacy. But ExpressVPN took this a step further and proved their commitment to their no logs policies through a real life stress test when the Turkish government seized one of their servers as part of an ongoing investigation, only to find nothing of use on that server. This incident alone proved that ExpressVPN is the most secure VPN on the market. Another thing that I really liked about ExpressVPN is that it's very easy to use and pretty much plug and play. There are no walls or text or technical terms. Just open the app, press the on button, and close the app. That's it. And lastly, if you're looking for a VPN that can access the internet freely in China, then Express is probably the only VPN out there that does this easily, without the need for specific configuration or downloading on a separate app for it. And so if you're looking for the most secure and easy to use VPN out there with the ability to access the internet freely in China, then ExpressVPN is the way to go. Now, if you're looking for a well-rounded option that offers the most features out of all the VPNs out there, then NordVPN would be right up your alley. First of all, when it comes to VPNs, it's pretty natural to experience a drop in speed regardless of which VPN you're using. But generally speaking, anything between a 10 to 25% drop is considered great, and even up to 40% is still considered good. Now, in the case of NordVPN, the speed results rivaled those of ExpressVPN, averaging around 10 to 25% drop in speed, with the latter result being me connected to faraway servers to sort of test the limits of its capabilities. However, there were even times when it registered as low as an 8% speed drop while using NordLynx, its fastest performing protocol, surpassing that of ExpressVPN and proving that it's the fastest VPN on this list. Now, as far as features go, Nord has the most features out of all the VPNs on this list. And in general, not only does it have the conventional kill switch, which we talked about earlier, but it also has an app kill switch that would shut down the app the second you disconnect the VPN server instead of outright stopping your whole connection. There's also this neat little feature called Dark Web Monitor that would keep an eye out on the dark web and alert you to any leaked data. And you also get MeshNet, which is a recently added feature that allows you to safely share files or have remote access over the encrypted network of NordVPN. And that would really come in handy if you're working from home or if you're on vacation and you want to access the files on your office computer, for example. And so if you're looking for the fastest and most well-rounded value VPN on the market, I highly recommend NordVPN. And then finally, if you're on a budget and want a VPN that gets the job done at the best possible cost without sacrificing any of the necessary features, then Surfshark is your best option. Now, Surfshark may not be as fast as the other two, and it might not have all the features that NordVPN has, but it still has a kill switch, split tunneling, and a verified no logs policy. Surfshark also has some unique features of its own. For example, Surfshark, as far as I know, is the only VPN with premium features that allows an unlimited number of simultaneous connections for a single subscription, which is perfect if you're someone with a lot of devices that you want to protect, or if you want a VPN service that you can share with your friends and family. Surfshark also has a no borders mode, which which would help you get around firewalls in censorship-heavy countries, and a rotating IP address that would switch up your IP every 5 to 10 minutes, making it nearly impossible to track down your activity. But other than that, Surfshark also has some specialty servers, such as static IP servers that would have the same IP address every time you connected to them, and dynamic multi-hop servers that would route your connection through 2 VPN servers instead of 1 for double the security. Not to mention that Surfshark now has dedicated IP support, so you can get your own dedicated IP that no one else can use, which can help with accessing services that are sensitive to IP changes like bank applications, or to simply avoid annoying CAPTCHA requests. And one more thing to point out with Surfshark, just to show you how budget friendly it is, if you opt for the higher tier Surfshark One Plus, which comes with an antivirus, a VPN, a safe search feature, and even a data leak tracker, it would still cost about the same as most VPN subscriptions, which don't even offer any of these security tools. And so if you're looking for the most budget friendly VPN that gets the job done at the best possible cost without necessarily sacrificing security or features, then Surfshark is the way to go. So to sum it up, if you want the most secure and easy to use VPN, go for ExpressVPN. If you want the fastest and most well-rounded VPN that offers way more features than other services, then I highly recommend you go for NordVPN. And lastly, if you want a service that gets the job done at the best possible cost without sacrificing any necessary features, then Surfshark would be the way to go. Also, something to keep in mind is that this was just a brief overview of these VPNs. And so if you want to see me go through all the ins and outs of each of these VPNs in full detail, you'll find links to my in-depth reviews in the description below. So feel free to check those out as well. Otherwise, that's all for today's video. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. And don't forget to check out the links in the description to grab yourself the best discounts possible. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.